Oh my god, guys. I have never went live in my life. And somebody told me if I had 100 subscribers, I could go live on YouTube. And I have reached that milestone of going live. So I think I'm getting kind of a glare in my YouTube videos. Not exactly what you want when you're filming a video, but there's nothing I can do. There's a glare. Wait, hold up. Let me move this a little. Keep tight, guys. I still have a glare. Okay, well, anyways, guys. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Lisa. I figured this would be a great way for my subscribers to get to know me. Maybe I would also get to know you. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. 100 does not seem like a lot because there are people out there with like 50 million subscribers. You know, PewDiePie. I don't know if you watch PewDiePie. Yeah, I have an iPhone. My iPhone lens works weird. I'm gonna have to clean this. Hold up. Well, I'm in the process of getting a laptop so that I could do better live streams. For right now, the iPhone is what I have. There's nothing much I can do about it. I've had this iPhone for 2 years. Let me see if that makes it better. Yeah, the sun glare is bad. That's the perks of living in California. You get a lot of sunshine. That's the perks of it. So, what is excitingly happening in my life? There is a free show at Amoeba Records for this guy named Ronstam, who is one part of Vampire Weekend. So, I'm trying to convince my BF to go with me if he has the free time. I'm trying to convince him to go. Oh, California Dreaming, yeah. I like California Dreaming. I have that album. The one with California Dreaming. It's in here somewhere. I have the Mamas and the Papas. Love the Mamas and the Papas. It's a mono copy. I got it off of Amazon. This guy was selling it for 20 bucks, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty good deal, and I ended up buying it. But I don't have any other Mamas and Papas albums. Papas and the Mamas. Close enough. Close enough. Close enough. My dad used to really be into the Mamas and the Papas. And he got me into them because he used to play California Dreaming a lot. Like, half my collection here is of my dad's. Because my dad collected a lot of stuff. He was, you see, that's the problem. There's like a sun glare. Yeah, I heard about him. Didn't he, like, get with his daughter or something? I remember her doing, like, an interview on Oprah or something, saying that she had a relationship with her dad. That is so weird. I like to kind of not try to picture him as this dirty man, but you can't help but, you know, see him as this dirty person. Oh yeah, the glare is bad. I tried putting my my curtains over the glare to see if the glare is better. I decided to do some live streams because I've been watching, if you guys watch Mr. Mean Mayo on YouTube, he's always doing live streams. Yeah, there are some bad apples in music. Before that, I didn't really think anything of his music because when we were in choir, we had to do California Dreaming. Yeah, Joe, Mr. Mean Mayo. I am subscribed to him. He's always doing live streams for, like, everything. And I'm like, you know, maybe one day I will do a live stream at Amoeba Records. But I don't know. It just takes up a lot of data, I think, for me to do a live stream at a record place. But I'm thinking of it. You guys should team up. Me and Mr. Mean Mayo. I don't, yeah, it would be cool. Oh, this took me about roughly 5 hours to make. I'm not even kidding. I bought the Lego set. They have this Lego set for the Beatles. And, oh, a music show. I haven't really thought about doing a music show with them. Our music taste is totally different because his favorite band is the Beatles. And my favorite band is either the Monkees or the Beach Boys. But I think it'd be kind of interesting to do a music show with them because I think our difference of opinions would totally make for a good TV show. Oh, he doesn't like Pet Sounds. Pet Sounds is like one of my absolute favorite albums. I saw a video of his where he took a Pet Sounds album and threw it on the ground. And his friend, I'm assuming his homeless friend Don, went and stomped on the album. It wasn't the greatest of quality. I will totally check out those bands for sure. I will totally check them out. I'm always up for checking out new artists. Someone on my YouTube videos one time said to me I should get more 80s and 90s in my collection. And I do listen to some 90s. I mean, I like R.E.M., Smashing Pumpkins, The Cranberries, Pearl Jam, and who else? Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, mostly rock music in the 90s. Oh yeah, I only know a couple songs by Jefferson Airplane. I only listen to Somebody to Love and White Rabbit. Not like the hugest Jefferson Airplane fan. And they were pretty good when they formed that 80s band that they did called Jefferson Starship. That was okay. Not the biggest fan, but I do like White Rabbit. I appreciate its musicality. Mono is harder for me to find. So I would like to have more mono. Stereo is just more readily available. I think in terms of when I'm crate digging, I find more stereo records. Although I do have some mono Andy Williams, a mono Birds, and a mono copy of Mama and the Papas. But mono copies are harder to come by. And I guess my dad's collection, if I'm looking at it, he had a lot more stereo than mono. Because mono copies are just, you know, they're more money. It's the greatest hits. Let me go see it. It's this, not this one. I have a greatest hits album. Let me go find it. It's somewhere here. You know, it's right here. Here we go. Right here. The Byrds' Greatest Hits. This is a really good album. I was really pleasantly surprised to find out that David Crosby was also a member of the Byrds, who also became a member of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And I love Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Even I loved them when they were Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. You know, I have a lot of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I have about maybe 3 or 4 records by them. And then I have a couple albums from Stephen Stills. And then I have one from Graham Nash. Honestly, I am not sure if it's a first pressing or a mono. I just got it from Amazon, not Amazon, I got it from Amoeba Records. This is the record itself. It's a Columbia record. I put it into my Discogs when I was cataloging my Discogs. So I'll have to check back on my Discogs and see if it's a first pressing. But I am honestly not sure. I paid about, this year I paid $9 for this album. $9. Which is, I think, a really good steal for mono records because a lot of mono records go for a lot. Oh yeah, Discogs is great. One of my musical buddies, who's a DJ, ironically, told me about Discogs, and I haven't gotten to getting all my albums into Discogs yet, because I don't have as many as a lot of people do. Some people have like thousands upon thousands. I have about 250. Ah, that is, I did not know that. I just started collecting the Byrds because I was really into Mr. Tambourine Man. And I like collecting a lot of albums from the 60s and generally the 70s. Most of my collection is the 60s and 70s because that's what we grew up on when I was young. My dad was very huge into the whole folk scene, and yeah, I have a lot of 45s. Some about maybe 30 or 40 45s. They're on the other side of my room. Let's see. I'll go get them. Hold up, guys. I am back. Sorry, my phone fell off of its actual tripod. I need to get a tripod for my iPhone. The glare of California. This is one of the 45s I have. It's the shape of Ohio. It's probably my most expensive 45. It's from a band called 21 Pilots. I'm sure all of you have heard of 21 Pilots. Got some Genesis for you. Tonight, Tonight. In the Glow of the Night. Paid about $3 for that. This is Bombay Bicycle Club. A rather newer band. The Monkees, Last Train to Clarksville. This album cover has been loved by whoever used to own it. And the album is in a fairly okay condition. Cold as Ice, Foreigner, I Need You, Foreigner. The Monkees, Daydream Believer, Going Down. Another album that has been loved to death by their owner. She's Out of My Life, Michael Jackson. Get on the Floor, Michael Jackson. I like Michael Jackson. I also have a Spanish pressing of Thriller that I got from this guy on Craigslist. I know it sounds sketchy to go to Craigslist and buy albums, but this guy sold me his copy, and it's a Spanish pressing, and I've never had a pressing from a different country. Next one I got is the Beatles, I Wanna Hold Your Hand. I saw her standing there. Gotta have Beatles 45s in your collection. I feel like even if you're not a huge fan. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. I have the Mexico pressing of Thriller. It's really cool because the album itself is in Spanish. The Monkees' Words, Pleasant Valley Sunday. This one's really cool. I haven't opened it yet, but I like Old Blue Eyes, so I bought this Christmas record from Frank Sinatra. White Christmas, The Christmas Waltz. This is a record store day edition that he came out with in, I believe, 2016, and it's really neat. And the vinyl itself is white. The Beach Boys, Help Me Rhonda, Kiss Me Baby. It's always nice when I find the Beach Boys in its original inner sleeve. Because most of the times when I find them, it's not in their original inner sleeve. Josh Groban, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I like to bust out the Christmas music. So it's always good to have a few 45s at Christmas. The Beach Boys, California Girl. I have Pet Sounds. I got you covered. Well, I have a lot of Beach Boys. Well, I have Pet Sounds. It's in my collection. Everybody has Pet Sounds. I wanted to get an original pressing of Pet Sounds, But they're going for way too much money. The Turtles, Happy Together. This is a really cool one. It was another Record Store Day edition album. I imagine so. What I got was a reissue, and I'm not sure what year my Pet Sounds reissue came out, but it's pretty nice and it sounds great. Everything She Wants, Wham! I saw this for 50 cents at Amoeba. Amoeba has a 50 cent 45 rack. So that's why I'm able to have a lot of 45s in my collection. The Monkees, Heart and Soul, great 80s album from them. You know, Mike wasn't too instrumental in being a part of the band in the 80s. I will definitely listen to Turkish psychedelic rock. I have not listened to modern psychedelic stuff much, but I really do like this new. I like Tame Impala. Pawn's really good. This band called Temples. They are a really good modern psychedelic band. I like the modern bands that bring back the 60s and 70s vibes in their psychedelic music. Next I have Angel Eyes. Frank Sinatra sings Angel Eyes and Weep Willow for me. Well, I'm kind of indifferent. I like some modern music. Don't get me wrong. I don't like all modern music. I really can't stand modern R&B. Not really big on hip-hop. And you know, that modern pop stuff like Selena Gomez. And I'm not really big on Britney Spears. My kind of modern music that I like is certain modern music. Like, I really like the National's new album. Oh yeah, my dad didn't allow me to listen to hip-hop when we were little, so I'm kind of glad. Taylor Swift, don't even get me started on her new song. I think her new song is crap. Oh, Bieber, oh my god, Bieber's bad. I have the Zombies, A Rose for Emily. Don't even get me started on Bieber. Garbage, oh I like Garbage kind of. I wasn't like super big into Garbage, but Garbage came out when I was in high school. Because I was in high school in the late 90s, so I remember Garbage. Drake, oh my god, Drake. Drake is bad. To think Drake used to be on a TV show called Degrassi, and then he comes and does music. It is garbage. I don't know what happened to Taylor Swift. I'll be honest with you, I kind of enjoyed 1989 from her, but her new song, I don't know. All this like childish backstabbing at people. It's time to grow up, Taylor Swift. You're almost 28. Wow. I don't know if to actually feel happy for you or feel embarrassed for you that Drake grew up near you. Billy Joel, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, and Through the Long Night. Billy Joel's cool. This album plays like shit, kind of, though. I'll be honest with you. But for 50 cents, I'm not going to complain. It sounds like a muffled cat. Poor Billy Joel. He didn't want to sound like a muffled cat, but you can tell that somebody really loved that album. Painted Black, The Rolling Stones. I like the Rolling Stones. They're probably in my top favorite bands, like my top 5. Peter and Gordon, Knights in Rusty Armor, The Flower Lady. Good old 60s pop. William Martin Joel. Don't know who he is. Nice, yeah. I got that one for like $7, the Stones album. They're very hard to come by because I don't see too many Stones albums with the record sleeve. Yep, exactly. Elton John, I guess why they call it the blues. Now, here's a story I want to share about Elton John. Elton John, my dad saw Elton John in 1972 at the Troubadour when he was first starting out. And my dad said that Elton John used to go crazy with the piano. And my dad also saw Elton John at the LA County Fair when he was first starting out. And he said that it reminded him so much of, who's that guy? Jerry Lee Lewis. And I was like, that's pretty cool that you got to see Elton John. But he's seen so many artists. My dad has seen so many artists. He's seen the Kingston Trio when they first started out. He's seen the Beach Boys in Anaheim in 1960, I want to say 5 or 66. He's not seen the Rolling Stones. That's one thing he's never able to see. My dad was born in the 40s. So yeah, he definitely was a hippie. He was, to be honest, he was born in that decade. He was about 20-something in the early 60s to the late 60s. So yeah, he definitely was a hippie. He saw a lot of hippie artists, and he loved a lot of blues. He saw Nina Simone, Odetta, Hopkins Lee. I think that's his name. Lightning Hopkins. No, he came out, he was born in Massachusetts, so he came out to California when he was 21. Next one I got is a Record Store Day edition of 21 Pilots. This one is Foyle's Rain and Daffodil, because I do like some modern artists. Next I got George Harrison, All These Years Ago. I'm not like super huge fans of solo Beatles work. If you're watching this, Mr. Mean Mayo, sorry. Got Love, If You Want It, the Kinks. I swear the Kinks, every year they come out with something for Record Store Day. Every year. The Kinks are like, just every time I look at Record Store Day, I always see like 3 or 4 items from the Kinks. They're really reaping that Record Store Day. Next I got the Turtles. You Know What I Mean? Great one-hit wonder with Happy Together. Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark. This album really plays like you're dancing in the dark. It's got a little glitch in it where one part of it goes really soft. Oh, that's awesome. I have a 1980s 45 from them. You should be I think it's called Come Dancing. Next I got a really cool blue vinyl of the Beatles. And this one has Revolution and Hey Jude. I think I paid about $8 for that, but it was so worth it. My Sweet Lord, George Harrison. Quite possibly my favorite George Harrison song. And Isn't It a Pity? I prefer, in terms of solo Beatles, I prefer Paul McCartney over the other Beatles. It'd be probably ranked Paul McCartney, George Harrison, John Lennon, and then probably Ringo Starr. Sorry, Ringo. I'm not like too big on Ringo, but Frank Sinatra, Empty Tables, I Sing the Songs I Write, Joe Cocker, The Letter. I was at Amoeba, and I saw this, and I started getting all giddy, and the lady next to me goes, "What happened?" And I go, "I found Joe Cocker's The Letter." And she was like, "Well, that would make you happy." I like Joe Cocker. He was quite the man with his music. I really loved his cover of She Came In Through the Bathroom Window and A Little Help From My Friends. I already mentioned Frank Sinatra. This one's a childhood favorite of mine. This is Luminol, The Never Ending Story. Any of you like little kids in the 80s remember this movie? It's a great movie. Peter and Gordon, I Would Buy You Presents, I Don't Want to See You Again. They had a lot of Peter and Gordon at Amoeba, so I decided to pick up the 2 that they had. Next one I got is Huey Lewis and the News, I Want a New Drug. This was in an episode of The Simpsons. This is a good band. And then, these are the last few. I have Cat Stevens, Another Saturday Night, and Cat Stevens, Come in the Sky. Keep the Customer Satisfied and Bridge Over Troubled Waters by Simon and Garfunkel. And last but not least, I'll show you the last few I have. All Day of All Night, I'm Not a Lover and a Fighter, Gotta Move, Long Tall Shorty. The Kinks. This is a Record Store Day edition. I played this a few times. Then I got a bunch of random 45s and 2 other records I gotta show you from my dad. This one is Johnny Lee, Looking for Love, Eagles, Lying Eyes. I admit, I'm not the biggest Eagles fan, but I do enjoy them. Glenn Campbell, Wichita Lineman, Faith of a Man. May Glenn Campbell rest in peace. I play this one a lot. Glenn Campbell has become like one of my favorite artists. Boogie Woogie Country, Joe Turner, and Joe Turner, Karina. A lot of these were given to me by my dad, so I haven't heard half of these. Calling for You Again, England Dan, and John Ford Coley. And We Will Never Have to Say Goodbye Again, England Dan, and John Ford Coley. Jackson Browne, Stay, Jackson Browne, Rosie. My dad used to have the album of this, Come Sail Away, but we lost it. When I was little, I wasn't collecting his records. I was like too little to even think about it. And then when I was in high school, they had the CD phase. Because I was in high school in the late 90s. And they didn't have much. They didn't have much in terms of, well, they had records, but everybody was collecting CDs in the late 90s. Nobody was really collecting records, so I had a lot of CDs that I ended up buying. And now records are back in again, so people are buying records again. This one is Come Dancing by the Kinks and Noise by the Kinks. I have a lot of Kinks 45. I am 34 years old. Gonna be 35 in November. I was born in 1982. 80s kids, represent. I was the best of both worlds. I was an late 80s and 90s kid. So I had the best of both worlds. Ha! 3 years younger. That was then, this is now. The Monkees. Yeah. Yeah, I graduated in 2001. It just seems so long ago because the kids who are born in 2001 are close to graduating. It's so crazy and insane to think that when I graduated, these kids were just born and now they're close to graduating. They're going to be 18. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's my 45 collection. It's not as big as some people, but I like to have some 45s because you could just go pop them on the radio. Pop them on the turntable and have instant music. I like them. It's just one song. Oh my God. That was 2 years before I was born. I don't remember much about it, but I've seen documentaries about the day when Lennon was shot. And it's pretty crazy to think that Lennon, a guy that's been loved by so many people, could get shot by this deranged man. And every year they have this thing where he tries to get parole. Not almost every year, but like every 5 years. And Yoko, bless her heart, tries to get him to be not paroled. But I don't remember much about it because the only thing I remember in terms of Beatles' death is when George Harrison died of cancer. And his son, Dhani Harrison, is coming out with an album, I think in November. I want to say November or October, because he's doing a show out here at the El Rey, November the 30th. I'm not probably going to go, because I'm not really huge on Dhani Harrison, but that's really awesome. Oh yeah, and when Princess Diana died, I was 14 years old. I was just starting my 9th grade year of high school. I remember when she passed away, it was like as if the day when music died. You remember that when Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and some other guy got on an airplane to Iowa. This was about 1959, I want to say. 56, 57, one of those years. And Buddy Holly ended up on an airplane and died. But he was 22 years old, and for his 22 years of life, Buddy Holly produced some really good music. I remember being 13 years old and had my tape player, and I would play Buddy Holly and the Crickets all the time, and I really loved That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue. I really liked Every Day. There's just so many good songs from Buddy Holly. The light is starting to get a little darker in my room. But I really enjoyed making this chat. And I enjoyed having people come here and watch my YouTube chat. Because it's a big milestone to hit 100 subscribers. I think I will make this a weekly thing. I'm going to be like Mr. Mean Mayo Joe. And make it a weekly thing. Because I don't want to be like doing it every single day. Because I don't want to be bombarding my subscribers with a video every day of me going live. But it was a fun chat. Thanks for showing up to my YouTube chat. I gotta go and do some other things now, but peace guys. Have a good day.